What is going on, squad? Welcome to another video. Hope you are doing fantastic. My name is Howard Williams. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So if you are a newer online coach, yes, you need to understand like the different steps on how to get clients and how to DM clients, how to deliver good, post good content, deliver good services, all that stuff, right? But one thing a lot of online coaches miss out on, especially newer ones, is the fact that they don't have a mind that's organized. It's just filled with clutter. All right. Now I'm going to give an analogy, and it's going to explain why this is just it's not a great thing to happen, right? It's not very desirable. All right. So imagine this, right? You are going to work. You're going to work, but it's the papers are all over the place. It's hard to find your desk. Maybe the room is a mess at work. Your computer is covered with sticky notes, all that stuff, right? What would that do? Chances are it would make it harder to work, right? Because you have to move the gosh dang trash. You have to clear a path just to get to your dang desk. You have to take all these sticky notes off your computer. It's not very efficient, right? And so what that's going to do is it's going to obviously slow down how fast you can get to work, all right? And then you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, I'm a slob, blah, 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 right? And so it's just not a good thing. It's the same exact process with your mind, right? If you are filled with all these just thoughts of self-doubt and whatnot and lack of confidence, or you are overwhelmed with different tasks, you are not going to perform optimally one single bit. All right? And it's that simple. It's that simple. Yes, it's good to know what to do in business, but until you can organize that mindset, you are not going to take action on what you need to do in business. All right? This is why you want to declutter your brain, right? Declutter your brain. And I'm going to tell you how to do so, right? The first step is figuring out what to do next. That is the first step, and more specifically, is figuring out the simplest thing that you can do next. All right? Now, what do I mean by this, right? Now, if we're going back to that analogy of trying to clear out your work desk, all right? I should have used the gym analogy. Next time I will. But you're trying to clear out that work desk, all right? If you try to clear everything at once, you might get overwhelmed. But if you just look at one thing at a time and focus on that one thing, and then you get done, it becomes easier to go on to the next thing. You focus on that one thing, boom, you go on to the next thing. And piece by piece, that desk gets cleared out. It's the same thing with the mind, right? Focus on one small thing that doesn't take long to do, and then progress to the next thing, all right? What this is doing is allowing us to focus on one specific point. Our brain doesn't like to have all these different things going on, right? Our brain wants to keep things simple. It wants to focus on one or two things at a time. But when we give it these signals to focus on all these things at once, that's when the overwhelm happens, all right? So if we can learn to focus on one specific thing at a time, such as posting one video for an hour, right? And then you DM 5 or 10 people the next 20 minutes or something like that, right? If you treat your mind in that kind of fashion, it's going to be a lot easier to get work done rather than multitask or think about every single thing you have to do. Because people will tell you multitasking is great, it's important, you need to do it to get more work done. That is a load of baloney. I don't know why I just said baloney, but it's not going to be very helpful for you, right? We are creatures who understand how to work on one task only. That's how we optimally work, all right? Think about the last time you rode a bike. Chances are you was probably focused on riding that bike. Or the last time you rode a paper. chances are you did your best when you just wrote that paper instead of writing that paper, having Netflix on, and trying to eat dinner at the same time. Sure, you might have got the paper done, but I bet you it took 10 times longer than it needed to. It's the same thing with online coaching and your mind, right? Focus on one specific task at a time. And in this case, the smallest task that you can do that will be knocked out the way fast. When you can do that, then you're telling your brain, okay, I can focus on this thing. And when it's done, I can focus on the next thing. And when that's done, I can focus on the next thing. It's that simple, my friends. It's that simple. And so that's what I want you to practice. Simply focusing on the next thing, the next smallest thing. Write a list out if you need to. Write a list of all your jumbled thoughts. And this is actually a good tip. Write a list of all your jumbled thoughts. Spend 5 minutes at most, right? Because when you give your mind a restraint, it's going to come up with the most important things to talk about or list out, right? So give yourself 5 minutes to write down all the things you know you have to do in the day, right? And then circle the ones that will take the least amount of time. I don't care how hard it is, how easy it is, how complex it is, whatever. The ones that will take the least amount of time, circle those and then choose one at random. Boom, that is your thing to work on. That is your task for the day. You're telling your mind, I'm going to focus on this, and once I get this done, I'll move on to the next task that doesn't take that long. Then the next task, then the next task, all right? I like to call this avalanching, right? We're going from small tasks, not avalanching, snowballing, right? You're starting at the smallest task and moving on to the biggest task, all right? But once you do that, it's going to become a lot easier to actually get work done, feel more productive, and not have such a cluttered mind. Things will be more organized, right? You wrote everything out that you know you need to do, and then you organized it by what can I do the quickest to what thing is going to take the longest, all right? I can guarantee once you start doing things like that, it's going to feel a lot easier to actually get work done, and your mind will thank you for it because it's no longer overwhelmed, all right? So hopefully that helped, my friends. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you want more tips just like that. Until next time, peace.